Hi there folks, it's me again with another waffle video. I thought I'd share with you what I've been up to over the past year, on and off, when I've had a spare hour or two. This is Barcrest's MPU4 Stake Up machine, version 4.8 for those of you who know about these things. Those of you who follow Sulzer Ned, or Nick to his mates, will have spotted that he's uploaded several consecutive stake up videos recently. I met Nick just over a year ago, and knowing that I'm a programmer, he was telling me about this machine that he's got. He loves this machine, but it's got two things that greatly annoyed him about it. And he asked me if I'd mind taking a look at the code and seeing if there was anything I could do to make it better. So the things that Nick didn't like, I'll show you the first one. The emulator usually gives a cherry on our first go when we're on ×4 and the back door's open. So let's see if it does so this time. Made us wait for that cherry, didn't it? Right. So that is 80p, and I'm going to gamble that and force it to win. I'm going to keep doing that. Or that was the intention. You can now see that the double and lose lights aren't lit and the gamble button isn't flashing either. And that's because for wins below £10, it will only allow you to gamble up to £10, so you can't double £6.40. So what it will allow you to do is save some of it. So if you press save, then it auto saves a certain amount for you, in this case £2.80, and leaves you with £3.60. So if you gamble and win that, that will be £7.20 to add to the £2.80, which is £10. And it will auto save that like this. So Nick didn't like the £10 limit, and there was something else that he didn't like. We need ×4 again. And we also need a win that is above £10. There we go. 4 oranges on ×4 is £12. So this is what happens if you get a win above £10. So Nick said, no, you don't deserve a jackpot jingle for a win of £12 on a £100 machine. He said it needs to be at least £50, and I'd like the opportunity of gambling those oranges up to a maximum of £100. So of course I said no problem, leave it to me, and then discovered that it's more of a problem than I anticipated. But I've done some tinkering, and if we now get rid of the original ROM, there it is, and replace it with a different ROM, then this, just let me get the name right. This ROM should address all of his concerns. So restart the emulator using the ROM that I've had a go at. Open the back door so we can force it to win gambles. And have a look at the new version. And for those of you who are programming enthusiasts, there were a few stages involved to getting it into this condition. The first one is to remove that limit above which it just plays the jackpot tune. I changed that limit from £10 to above £50. There's only one win above 50, and that's the jackpot itself. So if the jackpot actually does appear on the reels, it will play the music and pay out. That means that all other wins are subject to gambles now, but the limit of £10 is still there. So I had to find that as well and change that to £100, so that when you save it, it saves the correct amount, such that when you double the last time, the sum total that you win will not exceed £100. And the final thing was, in that case, you will always have some saved. It needs to grab what you've saved, add it onto the amount that you've got to give £100, and pay that out, rather than transferring it to the saved area. And finally, if it's paying out £50 or more that you've collected, then it should do so with a jingle, and not if you're collecting less than that. So let's see how all of those things work. Right, so let's start with our cherry. Right, so let's just check that we can gamble this higher than £6.40. And there we are, it still allows the gamble. So we'll gamble again. And again. And one more time. Now this time we can no longer gamble, because doubling that would be more than £100. Now if we check it out at this point and collect, then because what we're collecting is above £50, we should get the jackpot jingle. And just to check that it won't play the jackpot jingle if we collect a little bit less than £50, let's go back onto ×4. And this time we'll just gamble the cherry as far as, well, we'll gamble it up to £51.20 and then save some of it. But this time we'll save. And we've now got £48.80 which we can gamble. If we gamble that and win, that'll be £97.60 to add to the £2.40, which gives us £100. But first off, we'll start by collecting that £48.80. Because it's less than £50, it should just pay out. No jackpot jingle. So we'll try that one more time, but this time we will go for the full £100. So as before, we'll gamble up to £51.20. Save some. And this time, when we double our £48.80, it will then grab £2.40 that we've saved on this turn to make a full £100. There we go, and there is still £2.40 saved. That came from the previous turn when I chickened out and collected the £48.80. So what happens to the oranges? Oh, let's just collect that. It would be nice to get something where it might give a hold. Oh. I should be able to convince it to give us a hole this time. Right, let's go back to our 4 oranges. Right, so the acid test now is whether a win above £10 will indeed be allowed to gamble. And indeed we can. And if we wish, we can save. Right, this time I'm not going to save that because it will take ages to count down in 10p increments. So we'll collect this and get our final jackpot jingle because it's over £50. So there we go, and I think that's why Nick has been uploading several videos. He's been doing his best to get these things without the door open. Obviously he could do them all in a few minutes like I just have. But yes, Nick is well pleased with that, and I'm sure that we will all be made aware when he finally does gamble a cherry up to £100. I hope you've enjoyed that. I think you do need to be a bit weird to enjoy looking at these things like me, but there are some people out there who, like me, are keen to know how these things work. For anyone who's thinking, I've got a machine which does this and I'd rather it did that, I'm afraid I can't really help. Given that it took me a year to deal with Nick's problems, it was great fun, but I'm not sure I'd like to do it again. I'd like to thank Chris of Chris217 channel for putting me onto all of this stuff in the first place, and Nick, of course, for giving me such an interesting and challenging problem. And also Eddie Coxon, who told me which programming language or system the MPU3s and MPU4s used. Without any of those, this video wouldn't have happened. So thank you very much indeed for watching, especially if you got this far, and no doubt I shall be back with another enthralling video very soon. Thanks again. Bye.